So you had the the constant emphasis on expository preaching. You had catechesis. Thirdly, you had immersion in the Psalms. Now, one of the main monastic practices was that you were immersed in the Psalms. You may know that the Benedictine rule included seven services a day in which the Psalms were either read or recited or sung. So you got through all 150 Psalms every week. How do you like that? You got through it every week. Calvin came up with a brilliant idea. And what Calvin decided to do was to make the hymnody of the church basically the Psalms. So what he did was he killed two birds with one stone. This is a quote here from one of the books I was talking about. He killed two birds with one stone when he determined to put the entire Psalter into singable, accessible, but beautiful metrical French. And by putting it into a beautiful, singable, metrical French, you not only made the Psalms very memorizable, but because you would sing through the Psalter at least twice a year, sometimes more, you not only, you killed two birds with one stone, you not only made sure that the hymnody that the people were singing was going to be, in a sense, catechizing them, but you were also immersing them in the Psalms. And what Calvin always said was, the Psalms are for the heart. The Psalms are God's prayer book. The Psalms teach you how to pray, teach you how to process every single possible human situation before God in prayer. Do you realize that there's not a single kind of human condition or emotion or situation that you don't find in the Psalter? And it doesn't just tell you about it, it tells you, here's how you process that in prayer. Here's how you handle it before God. So you're singing them every year, at least 2 or 3 times. And in forms, as you know, you remember what you sing better than you remember what you say or what you read, right? You can remember what you read, you remember what you say better than what you read, and you remember what you sing better than what you say. And especially if it's put in a beautiful metrical form. And so Calvin knew that the monks were immersed in the Psalms. You know, even Thomas Cranmer, we won't go there because we're just talking about Calvin, but Thomas Cranmer, he knew that when he wrote his Book of Common Prayer, that unless people were immersed in the Psalms, and by the way, Thomas Cranmer really, in many ways, followed Calvin in trying to democratize the monastic practices because he knew that they were ways of really forming people head and heart. He has you go through the Psalms every month. Calvin had it every couple of, 2 or 3 times a year. But the point was, immersion in the Psalms is the third monastic practice that everybody went through.